Bah. So today's episode, I'm talking about a late presentation I made this semester. I need to do some electives for my master degree here in Wichita State, and I choose opera and vocals for elective. And I just jumped inside a word I never heard before, and I got really impressed about the power of so much works happening together. Opera is a space for many works. You need theater, you need scenery, you need all characterization, you need the music, you need the singers, and all this ritual, all this kind of thing really get involved in me. So for my presentation, I picked the opera La Boheme by Puccini. It's like 1894 when he wrote that opera, and become one of the most acclamated works in opera of all the time. So but my research about this opera go way further than just a nice and beautiful opera from the late Romantic era. Well, very honestly, I picked this opera before even watching this opera. I listened some stuffs here and there, but it's 2 hours plus work, so I cannot watch several operas to pick what I'm going to write about. So I felt the subject pretty interesting. That's Bohemians, with our artists and people from the night and all this kind of stuff. So I want to do research about what's happening, what's going, how Puccini, what happened for Puccini to do that. And I discovered that is a very underground standard, is a very underground manifest about how this culture, the counterculture, appears in this world. In 1830s, there was a book called La Boheme, La Vie Boheme, where the author portrayed in some few sketches scenes from La Bohemia in Paris in 1850s and all this kind of stuff. So a big acts this opera happening in this bar called the Momo's Bar, and after have another scene happening in the court. Oh, the first scene happens in between the quotidian scenes and the things that the artists have to pass to survive since that era. And in the original piece, the author was sketching how these people, the artist was trying to enter in this world and seal this piece and live by their own arts in an era that people start living by really independent art. So I found that so interesting. And so Puccini took 2 liberties with him. I believe the crew was bigger later on, and start adapting and doing these operas, these works, and was his first big work. So I was reading two books, I taken as a reference 2 books about this piece, and one book about the Metropolitan Opera. They put the libretto, critics, and history and all that, very well based. But the other book that I read, I found a precious information. They they have a whole act that was cutted from the opera. In the last beat, Puccini wrote 5 acts and not 4. So if you're not familiar with La Boheme, so like first one is like more like the quotidian stuff. Second one is the Momus. It's more like very festive. The third one is dramatic. It's more like a reconciliation because we have 2 couples in the opera, and the end of the scene was my scene that I was about to talk. Is a quartet with different voice, and I felt that so interesting. And then have like the 4th act, where is when the protagonist Mimi dies on the scene, right? It's very famous because they're portraying the tuberculosis scene that was a huge thing in that era. So, but there was a hidden act that happens in Mimi's house. Mimi is friends of, Musetta. Happens in Musetta's house, and she's friend from Mimi, and so have like the famous area, Mi chiamo Mimi, that in Italian is they call me Mimi, but her name is not Mimi. It's just because like a knight's name, you just invent stuff and start collaborating with, start putting new stuff on. So there was a whole act happening in Musetta's backyard. And when Puccini showed this idea for the king, he thought that a little bit gross, a little bit too much about flirting and promiscuities. And I read the act, and no, it's not exactly like that. So the king said, if you wanted to release your material, you must to cut this act. Imagine that, like a king interfering in artistic production so hard like that. And so like after Puccini finished the whole work, he have to rearrange the works to put in different scenes. So there is parts of this scene that happens on the Momus, the bar scene, and have parts that happen in the 3rd act. For example, this last scene where it happens the quartet is not exactly that have one area for like 4 singers, but they have 2 areas that was compacted inside one single movement to bring this kind of essence of chaotic of the Bohemian scene, and also like trying to finish the story, trying to connect things in the story. Because if you really put the libretto and study the whole thing, there's some incoherence in the text, because there was thing that was just cutted, and so many characters, so many things going on that works. You're going to understand. Laboheme is an opera that have comedy, have drama, have party, have everything. All the genres are presented over there. So that one of the whys that it's so popular still nowadays, still in the main opera house, and it's crazy that this first big word, like this first underground work, I think like it's very counterculture, because La Boheme, yes, is a standard opera, this kind of prostration voice and all this kind of thing, but they don't have exactly the hero stuff. They don't have exactly the the the, the things that Wagner and Verdi was working beforehand. Uh, is different. Is another kind of opera. So it's a big work. Is a huge difference. During this work, I was starting. I wrote some themes to play my cello during my presentation, and I love to play that. I just absolutely love to play that. I'm thinking some arrangements to play. Maybe here in the channel, we can play some some scenes from La Boheme. So don't forget to press the button below, like on this video, and I see you in the next video. Please comment if you wanted to see more about La Boheme, if you wanted to hear some cello cover of this piece.